Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again with an extra little bonus video and what actually could become a little bonus mini-series if you would like to see it. It was pointed out to me by a friend that actually haven't seen this on YouTube yet this year. Someone actually pointing out or outlining what the different transfer and wage budgets are for the most specifically the top leagues in Europe. So it's more of an informative series, little mini-series. I'll do the Barclays Premier League in this one. If you would like to see, say, La Liga, Serie A, the Bundesliga and perhaps even the French League, Liga 1 as well, then of course let me know in the comment section down below. Drop the video a like, and if it's well received, then I'll do a further few videos for the other leagues. This won't affect the schedule as a whole. Of course, I'll still be putting out 2 videos every single day from here on forwards, and I may even, if you do respond well to this one, actually try and get a second one of these out later on tonight should you wish to see it. But less of me rambling, let's have a quick look. So, and as you can see, Arsenal start off with actually a very impressive transfer budget of £29.5 million. Already brought in a couple of good players this year with Debussy and Alexis Sanchez in that starting lineup as well. So they've already made some good signings, and you've got enough money to bring in a few more players as well should you wish to. Aston Villa's decent sized transfer budget of £10 million for a club of that particular size and ambition. A half decent starting squad actually, and they had a good start to the season despite, of course, unfortunately losing to Arsenal quite heavily yesterday. Burnley, a new side to the Premier League, and will need some work to try and stay up should you be taking Burnley on in a career mode series of your own. £6.5 million the transfer budget there. Of course, Chelsea with a £46.5 million transfer budget. You'll see that in more detail in Tuesday afternoon's first episode of the Chelsea career mode that will be starting for the first one of FIFA 15. Crystal Palace, an slight increase in the transfer budget from the Burnley one. Another team that will be looking more importantly to stay in the Premier League rather than perhaps pushing on towards the upper middle half of the table. Crystal Palace would be satisfied with staying in the Premier League, I would thought, and you've got a decent amount of money there to try and perhaps bring in some players to help you do that. Everton, after already spending £28 million on Romelu Lukaku, to have an extra 12 is perhaps about average. You would have expected maybe a little bit more, but of course, having spent so much on Romelu Lukaku, perhaps it's quite realistic that it is a rather smaller transfer budget. And of course, traditionally, Everton haven't actually had that higher transfer budget anyway as it is. Hull City have actually spent a lot of money in this transfer window, although they've received some as well, of course, moving on Shane Long to Southampton. And you do have £8.5 million there to help you along your way. So we'll have a look at Leicester as well, another one of the new promoted teams in the league this afternoon, picking up a fantastic win against Manchester United. 5-3 I believe the final score was. I'm recording this when it's about 3 minutes from the end, and it is still 5-3, and indeed I'll just check my phone, it has finished 5-3. So you've got £8 million to improve the squad, although apparently Man United's 160 plus million spent isn't enough to beat one of the new rated teams. But there you go, £8 million for Leicester. Liverpool, £34 million, a big budget, although of course they finished second in the league last year, so would have had extra bonuses. Already brought in a couple of extra players with the likes of Dejan Lovren and Adam Lallana, and Moreno, as you can see there in the starting lineup as well. £34 million is a lot of money to spend, definitely a lot to play with there with Liverpool. Definitely could challenge for the Barclays Premier League title if you do a Liverpool career mode. £68 million for Manchester City, incredible amount of money, huge. And if you don't win the Barclays Premier League title playing with Manchester City, or at least some sort of BPL, FA Cup or Champions League trophy with that sort of money and that squad already at your disposal, then you really need to take a long, hard look at yourself. Man United, £33 million already left there to spend after already bringing in the likes of Herrera, Di Maria, Rojo, Luke Shaw. Who else have they brought in? Falcao as well. So a huge squad there at Manchester United and plenty of money to spend as well. Clearly they need it in real life, but hopefully you'll be able to have better results than they have done so far this season. Newcastle, a £14.5 million budget. Decent size for a club of that stature, side that's struggling so far this year, although the fans will tell you that that's Alan Pardew's fault, not necessarily the fault of the players, although they have been quite disappointed with the performances as a whole. £8.5 million for QPR, which is quite low actually, considering QPR tend to have a tendency of spending quite a lot of money. For some reason it says Loic Remy is still in that starting lineup. If you download the latest squad updates, it should put Remy with Chelsea and Falcao with Man United and Danny Welbeck with Arsenal, etc. So don't necessarily take into account the fact that it says Remy there. If you download the latest squad update, that should fix that. Southampton obviously received a lot of money this year, spent a bit as well, bringing in Graziano Pella and Tadic, so as you can see in the starting lineup as well. Ryan Bertrand, their left back, for on loan, I think, from Chelsea. Of course, £9.5 million to spend at Southampton. Spurs haven't really spent as much, not anywhere near as much this year as they did last year, but £22 million to spend if they decide to take on the side from North London. Stoke City, with a decent sized transfer budget. They do actually like to spend a bit of money at Stoke, and you've got £13.5 million there to do so should you so wish. Sunderland also with an exact budget of £13.5 million to go along with that. Of course, former Chelsea left back Patrick Van Arnholt in the starting lineup with Stephen Fletcher right there. Connor Wickham at left mid, not really too sure why that is. Swansea, only £8 million to spend, although they do have a few very, very good players in there. Of course, Wilfred Boney is one of the better strikers in the Premier League, despite getting sent off yesterday, unfortunately for him. And West Brom, £8 million to spend as well, a side that's struggling in the Premier League this year, although last time I checked they were 1-0 up against Spurs. I haven't seen what the final result was from that game, but a decent result for them. Were they able to get that result away at White Hart Lane? And the final team to have a look at are West Ham, another side that picked up a good result yesterday, winning against Liverpool. £9.5 million is their transfer budget. So that's going to bring this little episode to a close. If you would like me to see, or would like to see me go through the other leagues in Europe, then feel free to let me know in the comment section. Drop the video a like as well, and I'll throw out as many of them as you might like to see. If this is well received, then I'll upload perhaps another one. Maybe I'll do the Bundesliga for later on tonight, but as for going forward, it will be bonus videos. It won't affect the other two videos that you'll get on the channel as well. So at least 2 videos on the channel every single day from me for the near future and hopefully the far future as well. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Let me know your feedback in the comment section down below. Subscribe if you haven't. We recently hit 19k. Thank you very much for that, and I will see you next time.